YouTube. Today I'm doing a video of a 2015 Ram 2500 Mega Cab. This one has the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel engine in it, as you can see there. And so what we have for modifications, we have a leveling kit. I think it's 2-inch or 2.5. And then we have fuel wheels, and these are 20 inches. And then we have a Toyo Open Country MTs. Those are 35, and this vehicle is all stock. We haven't done any engine modifications to it. It does have a nice roll-in tonneau cover. I'll show you that here. And this can lock too as well. Press that button, and you can open up the bed. The bed's pretty dirty right now, but this pretty much rolls up into this front box here. Cops driving by over there. But anyway, Laramie comes with some nice LED headlights. It's a nice trim, got some fake wood grain, some chrome accents. So yeah, you step up into the vehicle and nice steering wheel, leather wrapped steering wheel. So it does feel nice in your hands. And coming to the center stack here, you have the radio area and then the AC controls. And here's some other various like tow mode, exhaust brake, parking sensors, heated and cooled seats. So those are nice features to have, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of these features are on the Laramie and not some of the more base models. And then the four-wheel drive is right here. And there's a nice outlet for power. And this truck actually comes with the Alpine stereo. Alpine stereo is awesome in here, tons of bass, sounds great. And then over on the passenger side, you have a Laramie badge and the glove box. But overall, it's really nice in here. These seats are imprinted with the Laramie logo, and these are some nice leather bucket seats up front. And then in the center console, we have a storage area for coins and keys, and then a huge storage area. You can see big storage area here, cup holders. And then center console has this flip up piece at the top, and then you can also flip up the bottom one. So there's a huge storage area right here, and there's two different handles on here, and that's how you flip each one up. And then this one actually has the sunroof, which you don't use too much, moonroof, whatever you call it. Let's look at the back seats as well. Back seats are where all the action happens. So back doors, same trim. Now look at this leg room right here. Look at all of that. That's amazing. And this seat's all the way back, so that's where I like to sit. But this back seat is huge, and everything's leather. These back seats are heated, but not cooled. And then I'm gonna hop in here. So I'm 5'11", and this is where my knees sit. Let me just show you. So see this whole section right here? This is what's behind. It's basically a huge storage area, and I'd say this is probably about 10 inches. Tons of storage back here. We've actually put suitcases and bags here when we're traveling, and these seats fold down as well. There is also space under these seats. I don't know how good the lighting is under there, but plenty of space under there. You can put some subwoofers or other storage. As you can see, plenty of storage in the back here. This does sit on the long bed frame, so it is a pretty long vehicle. You can see the screen in the middle. You got a digital speedometer, and then you can click through the arrows here, and there's actually lots of vehicle info. So tire pressure, trans temp, oil life, fuel filter life, battery voltage, exhaust turbo, and then you get a gauge summary, so all the necessary markers in one screen there. And then this will tell you engine hours. And then you can go down to miles per gallon, fuel economy, so we're getting 13 right now. The screen here is pretty good for 2015. It's very fast to switch apps, which is nice. Not too much lag. And you can set up Bluetooth and everything. Yeah, there's not too much to look at in here, but the screen is pretty good. And we really haven't had any issues with this with the electronics in this vehicle. All right, I just turned onto this street here, and the engine is still cold, so I'm not gonna give her too much gas right now. So we're at 73,840 miles, and it honestly still drives like the day we bought it. So back in 2015 we bought this truck. So one thing to note on this truck is the throttle pedal is very delayed. When you go to give it gas, it takes a little bit to kick in, and that's not just the engine building up power. There's just a little bit of lag with the pedal response. So that is something to get used to on such a big truck when you're trying to turn left or turn right somewhere, is you really have to give it some pedal before it starts going. And yeah, it is a big heavy truck, but you know, besides all those factors, it still has delayed pedal response. I do like to drive with the tow mirrors out. It just provides better visibility. You can see the blind spot mirror is way bigger when you pull them out like that. And there is a blind spot with the Mega Cab, as you can see. So it's not too bad, but because you have that extra Mega Cab part at the back there, it does have a little bit of blind spot. This blind spot's not too bad. And one thing about driving this truck is it feels huge in the lane. When you're driving, you feel like you're gonna run into other people, and that just comes with driving a bigger truck. So right now we're in the lane, like right in the middle of the lane here, and it kind of feels like this side's on the end of the lane and this side's on the end of the lane. When you're driving in tow mode, the transmission is pretty aggressive and will downshift, like right there, just downshifted, giving me power, and the shifts will be fast and precise. So I'm not really giving it tons of gas since it's still cold engine, but we're just giving it a little bit of gas here. And even with these 35-inch Toyo open country MTs, this thing is pretty smooth on the freeway still. The MTs are a little aggressive for street driving. I personally wouldn't go with mud tires if you're going to be daily driving this on the street. Now, we did have some issues with this truck pulling to the right after the mud tires were put on, but that has since been corrected. To combat that, we installed a Carly steering stabilizer. It's a high mount, so it pulls the truck back to the left. And so right now you'll see the truck pretty much drives straight now. The screen is kind of hard to use while you're driving, so I don't really like digital screens, digital buttons and everything. So we're getting on the freeway again here. I'm barely giving it any gas for under 2,000 RPM, and it's accelerating pretty good. Now, the reason I drive in tow haul mode and full exhaust brake, the brakes are pretty mushy and they're not confidence inspiring. So I like to drive with tow haul mode and exhaust brake. And what that'll do is when you let off the gas, the exhaust brake will come on. As it's doing right now, it's kind of a loud hum. I don't know if you can hear it very well, but the exhaust brake and the downshifting will increase and actually help slow the truck down. And the way the power comes on is amazing. It's so smooth in this truck. It's really addicting, honestly. When you're driving out and about, you just have power to pass people. I honestly like driving this more than the half-ton just because of the power delivery and the way it comes on, and it just feels like it puts you back in your seat. The torque is just crazy in these trucks. Give it some gas here. if you can see here, the average miles per gallon lately has been 13. The bigger wheels and tires definitely don't help with the miles per gallon, but you know, if you can afford a truck like this, I don't think you're gonna care too much about if you're getting 12 miles per gallon versus getting 18, 19 miles per gallon. All right, so let's put it back in tow haul mode, and then we'll do a little acceleration here. So it takes a little bit to build up the pressure, and then once that torque finally hits, it almost squawks the tires. Torque converter locks up, and that's not even full throttle there. That's just, I'd say that's about 75% throttle. Here's another low acceleration. So, not completely to the floor, because I do need to put some diesel in this thing. Not a bad acceleration for such a big vehicle. Okay, let's do a acceleration here. Let's see if we can get, all right, here we go. Foot to the floor here. A little slow off the line, as to be expected. So there's one thing I gotta talk about with drivability with this truck. The turning radius is absolutely horrendous. Let me show you an example here. So let me go all the way. So it's only 1.5 turns, but the turning radius is just so bad, and finding parking with this thing is sometimes a challenge. So you do have to back in everywhere, or else you might get stuck some places. Some parking lots, they don't make big enough for this truck. I'm not joking. So it might be hard to tell on camera, but you definitely need 3 lanes and a bike lane if you're gonna do a U-turn anywhere. So we bought this truck new in 2015. New, didn't have any miles on it. And we've put 73,857 miles on it so far. So the only major issue we've had was a oil pump reservoir had broken and cracked because of the heat, and the dealership replaced that. But aside from that, we haven't had any other drivability issues with this truck. So no engine problems, no transmission problems. We don't have warranty coverage on it. If something did break, it would be expensive to fix. There's no denying that. The suspension is pretty stiff, and that's to be expected in a heavy-duty truck. You're not really going to get away from that. And they set these up for towing and, you know, heavy lifting and not daily driving. It's just going to be a stiffer truck than any half-ton that you may be used to. So for maintenance on this truck, okay, so oil life is at about 52%, and we're at about 7,300 miles on this oil change. It's about once a year, and 12,000 miles is when they suggest the oil change. Now for the fuel filters, that's another thing that if you're looking at these trucks, you need to consider. So the fuel filter life is listed at 26% right now, and it's got about 9,600 miles on it. So what you want to do is account for the fuel filter replacement every 1 year or every 12,000 miles, depending on how much you drive. So 12,000 is the average, I think. That's about a $300 job at the dealership. So $300 a year in fuel filter changing, and then the oil change itself would probably be about 100, 120. Diesel is definitely more expensive to maintain. Just keep that in mind when you're looking at these trucks. Another thing, DEF fluid, it is kind of annoying to fill up, but really you only have to fill it up once every 6 months maybe, and that just depends on your driving style as well. If you are a pretty aggressive driver, you'll probably be filling it up more often. Alright, so I forgot to mention the truck has 2 batteries. I think most diesel trucks have 2 batteries, but these batteries are $200 each, and they cost $40 to the dealership to replace, so $240 per battery. And there's 2 of them, so if you have to replace both at once, that's going to be a $500 job. 73,800 miles we're at right now, and probably won't make it to 75,000 because we're going to sell this truck. So I wanted to get this video done, and I just rounded up to 75,000. So I'm not trying to clickbait or anything, but probably won't hit 75,000. I'm not sure anything will go wrong in the next 1,000 miles. This truck has actually not towed much. So the heaviest it's towed is another vehicle, a SUV, and that only weighed about 7,000, 8,000 pounds all in. This truck has been used for mostly just daily driving and not towing or any hard work. So I just want to put that out there. Since we're looking at the reliability and durability of these trucks, this truck in particular has been super reliable, but it hasn't actually worked a ton. So just keep that in mind. So thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about this truck.